either a hybrid or a gray that is provided for you to download in this transmission, and cut it out, blow it up, paste it on some stiffer background, cardboard or foam core or whatever you wish that allows it to be rigid. Blow it up to the point where the head of the image of the gray or the hybrid, from the top of the crown to the bottom of the chin, fills one of your typical 8.5 by 11 inch pages, and therefore allow the rest of the neck and the shoulders to be whatever size they will be by following that measurement. And once, as we have described before, it has been placed on a rigid background, then place that cutout outside one of your windows, or more than one, as if it is peeking through the window at you, to get used to the idea as you're simply going about your daily business of now and then, out of the corner of your eye or more directly, catching that image, especially at nighttime, peeking in at you, so that you can get used to the idea over time that there are interactions going on between those beings and yourself. And as you become more used to the idea of seeing them there, allowing yourself no longer to be startled by those particular images, and starting to relate to those images pasted outside your window as if they are real three-dimensional beings looking at you physically through your window. So again, you can get used to the idea that interactions are going on, whether you are aware of them or not. This technique, as we have described it previously in that transmission, will allow you more ability to accept that these beings are in your reality, and allow you more efficacy at actually being able to perceive them, the real beings, as they enter your reality and observe you and start to interact with you. This is for the purpose of making sure that you can begin to experience now, from this point forward, those interactions on a more conscious basis, on your own terms, as equals, without fear, so that you can not only remember some of the encounters you've already had that you may have forgotten one way or another, whether they were suppressed by the grays or the hybrids, or whether you suppressed them out of fear, doesn't matter. The idea now is that as you develop more of an equilibrium between yourself and your vibration and these beings, you can begin to remember the encounters you've already had, and can become more aware and conscious of any future encounters as well. Now, to add to this and continue this process forward to get you, again, more used to the idea of open contact, because now we are starting bit by bit to proceed toward the beginning of the window at the end of 2023 of open contact, starting slowly, bit at a time. But more and more of these kinds of exercises will be shared with you, suggested for you, to give you, again, more ability to experience open contact in a way that is beneficial to all, without fear. And so what we will now add to this exercise, which you can keep doing to get, again, yourself used to this idea, and especially now that some of your military officials have begun the first stages, small stages, yes, but the first stages nonetheless of disclosure, by validating certain videos as authentic of UFOs. This is the beginning, the very, very beginnings of opening up to disclosure that we exist. So let's begin to take advantage of that momentum by adding to the previous exercise of the cutouts peeking at you through windows, by now allowing you, when you notice them at any time during the day or night, face them, walk up to them more closely on your side of the window or the glass door or wherever you have pasted them so that they appear to be peeking in at you. Walk up to them, maybe at about a distance of, let's say, 3 feet. And once you are in that position and looking at them and allowing yourself to feel comfortable looking at them, allow yourself to say the following words. I see you. I recognize you. I invite you to invite me to participate more openly, more consciously, without fear. And I introduce myself to you as a friend of the messenger, as a friend of Bashar, as a friend of the hybrids, as a friend of the children who will come to live among us. And I am open in whatever way serves everyone best to participate in the ongoing program of evolution that will allow Earth to move forward and become the sixth hybrid race. I allow this on my own terms, in an experience of comfort, in an experience of love, in an experience of allowance on both sides. And I allow myself to come into more awareness, more conscious recognition, more conscious realization of the ongoing encounters in my life and the participation of all of my counterparts and connections and my soul, family, and spirit guides and higher mind in this endeavor. For all concerned with love and peace. You may write all this down. You may read it out loud when you are facing that image. And if you wish, at the end, you can add, this is up to you. Bashar sent me, and I am here. We will leave that part up to you. Remember to do this with no insistence, no assumptions, just allowance, bit by bit. You can do this once a day if you wish, twice a day if you wish. You don't have to do it more than 3 times a day, but we will leave that up to you. And it doesn't have to last any longer than the reading we just gave you. But be earnest, be open, and if you feel any trepidation or fear, that is all right. You can stop, you can adjust, you can breathe, you can relax, you can even stop and start again later if you wish. This is all about getting comfortable with the existence of these beings in your reality and getting comfortable with your existence in our reality. So that again, you are creating and building up a frequency that is representative of the third reality between the both of our realities, respectively. That will be the reality in which open contact will occur to the best of all concerned. So practice this every day if you wish, to guide yourself more and more into the frequency of open contact. And we welcome you in this exercise and in this endeavor. So tell them Bashar sent you. We thank you now for allowing us to deliver this next phase of this exercise to you. Have fun with it, enjoy it, relax into it, be creative with it, and just be yourself and keep moving forward. And in return for this gift you have given us, in allowing us to suggest this to you, I ask you now, in what way may we be of service to you? You may begin with your questions and comments if you wish.
Officials must disclose what they know about UFOs and ETs, and that grace period ends on June 1st. Can you tell us what we can expect to have disclosed after that, and how accurate the information they're releasing is. Since the government and military are controlling the release of information, is there anything we can do to ensure that we're entering into a peaceful relationship rather than a fear-based relationship with ETs?
There may be those who will manipulate and use the information to their own ends. So the idea really is not about the questioning of the accuracy of the data of the existence of craft, of UFOs, of UAPs, whatever you wish to call us. The idea is how you choose to respond regardless of how others may frame the information. So the information itself, the existence of the craft themselves, is accurate. How they are framed, how they are presented, you decide for yourself whether to buy into and align with anyone who may choose to project it in a fear-based way, or choose to allow yourself to look past that and simply know that more information is being released, and staying in a positive state will allow you to take the actions necessary to ensure that ultimately the world will know that our intentions are peaceful.
It was actually quite exciting because it was even on CNN, they were discussing with retired Army generals about this information. And the validation of the existence of these crafts is really starting to permeate the collective now.
Yes, these are the beginnings of disclosure. Again, as the beginning with many things on your planet, there may be a few little bumps in the road, as you say. There may be different opinions, different reactions. But you understand our intentions. And as some people have pointed out, the level of technological advancement that we and other extraterrestrial beings possess, being several thousand years ahead of your technology, if we had really intended you any harm, we would have done it long, long ago because we had the capability. Why would we have waited? So allow yourselves to remain using common sense, logic, understanding. Just take a look at what's happening and allow yourself to sift through the information in a way that allows you to tell the difference between one group's agenda and another's. But understand our agenda is the idea of peaceful contact.
Yes. Are there like lower vibrational ETs that are working with other governments in the world here?
In some senses, being the idea of the Greys more often than not, but again, remember, they're not exactly alien. They are a mutated race of humans from a parallel version of Earth, and therefore there is more similarity between them and many people on your planet than there is between us and the true extraterrestrial races that are engaging with your world at this time.
So one person was sharing the feelings that came up when they looked at the ET cutout
Yes.
exercise and they handled that. They noticed that a certain subconscious beliefs started coming up, like that black eyes are evil,
Yes.
and that you have no power because you're just an average human.
Yes, well, this is what the exercise is for, to bring these things up so that you can deal with them and let them go.
So if the idea is when you're doing these exercises to start letting go of negative feelings that come up that cause you to want to withdraw.
Yes.
And are these beings of high enough frequency that they would cause psychic shock, similar to what we might experience if we were to encounter you without being prepared?
There are differing degrees of vibrational energy present, but of course, this is why we're giving you the cardboard cutouts, so that you can get used to this idea, clear out the negative and fear-based belief systems, and raise your own frequency to be more equal to those who will come first, such as the Shalanaya and the Yael, which will have vibrational frequencies closer to your own, so that you won't necessarily have to go into psychotic shock if you raise your frequency enough by clearing out the fear-based belief systems through these kinds of exercises as we present them to you.
So talking to you this way is preparing our frequency to some degree, but at the same time, we still really would not be comfortable having contact with you because of the level of your particular frequency. Whereas with the Shalanaya and with the Yael, their frequency is much closer to ours. And so we would be able to interact with them just the way we would another human, or
if you raise your frequency enough, yes. They're closer to you, they're not identical to you. That's why the exercises are important, and the absorption of the information that we share that raises your frequency by following the formula and acting on your passion are all crucial to raise your frequencies to the level where you will be more vibrationally compatible with the Shalanaya, with the Yael, but you don't have as far to go as you would with us or other beings of higher frequency.
So like what level frequency would we need to experience contact with the Yael or Shalanaya comfortably?
A consistent, relatively speaking, frequency of about 150,000 cycles per second.
Okay, and then to experience your frequency or have contact with you, what level would our frequency need to be on to be comfortable?
More along the line of 250,000 cycles per second.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yes.
So, what kind of roles in open contact will we have? Will there be ambassadors and emissaries from Earth that act as go-betweens with the Essassani, or will there be some humans just designated to roles as contact receivers or public educators or facilitators?
To some degree, these ideas will be put in place, but it is a little too soon to tell or to give you specifics exactly about how these roles will play out.
Okay. And I don't know, you mentioned something about a full contact council. Is that familiar to you?
Yes, yes.
In the protocols of first contact, one of the next steps given was contact with the full contact council. Can you give us an update on what we can expect on that?
No. This is premature.
Okay.